hate him or love him, Chris Ballard seems to always get it right when it comes to this draft thing. Another year, another RAS score off the charts. Sammy, go ahead and bang that.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. And Bill Show.
Intercepted! Marlon Jackson! Marlon's got it! We're going to the Super Bowl! We're going to the Super Bowl! Marlon Jackson with the interception! He picked off Tom Brady!
The sickest Indianapolis Colts podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to another Anvil Show Sick Podcast. How are you guys doing tonight? Super pumped to talk about our draft picks. Let's go ahead and bring the boys in. Come on in, fellas.
What's up?
What's good? How you boys doing?
Good. Another sunburnt day, as you can tell.
Another sunburnt day. Costa, how you looking? How you feeling? You don't have voice.
Yeah, you
Have
might
no
want to
voice.
unmute.
There
That
you
is
go.
my fault. Technical difficulties. I've been busier than a cat trying to get litter up a marble floor. Why is that an
Yes.
Omaha?
Welcome to the show. Matter of fact, we forgot to go ahead and do this to start. So we're not gonna mess around tonight. All right, we're gonna get straight to it. We're gonna talk about the draft. We're gonna talk about the picks. We're gonna talk about Chris Ballard strikes again. Okay. So first and foremost, let me toot my own horn for a little bit. Once upon a time, I was accused of not being a worker, right? Like all he
Here
does
we
is
go.
go on vacation, goes on vacation and he hangs out and he has a good time. Yeah, this boy, this guy, this Colts fan, not this past weekend.
Yeah, you definitely worked your ass off over the
I
weekend.
got
at the
good
draft.
material. I met fans of the shoe. I met fans of just the NFL and every other team. Listen, go out to the YouTube. You know where we are now. Check out the vlog. It's my 2-day vlog of the KC draft experience. It was absolutely amazing. So hopefully next year we'll have the whole team with us. You guys can see what that's like up close and personal. But forget all that. It's time to talk about with the fourth pick, the Indianapolis Colts select. How do you guys feel about that?
Love it.
Stoked.
Anthony Richardson. Now,
Steal the
But
draft.
the question should be, Clyde, how do you feel about it? Because
Oh,
at the
God.
beginning, before college football even ended, he's not a lottery pick. He's too much of a project. He's this, he's that. Now you're seeing what some of us have actually
No.
seen with this young man.
Dude, why are you ridiculing the man already?
wait. See, now you get an Omaha. Okay. You big fella.
There it is.
Pointing out your hatred.
No. And I'm gonna tell you why you get an Omaha, big fella. Because
right.
if you recall, and we're not gonna point fingers here, but if you recall, Clyde Oliver, i.e., the voice of the Anvil, was the first to bring Anthony Richardson to the Anvil. And I said, hey, boys, I don't know, but what about this guy? Then I started to retract because I thought I overreached. This is way back. Oh, my goodness. When was this? November, December time frame?
I'm being 100% honest with you. I
Yeah.
don't remember you saying anything about Richardson.
Okay.
Now, I do remember you saying a lot about
Wow, right there.
you know it's a memory loss drug, so no Omaha for that.
Well, you are the oldest of the squad, so
Thank you. So
but
But
but no.
I'm just giving CJ credit because I remember him saying, "Man, you got to look at this kid."
No,
and
no,
then
no.
I started watching a little bit of film on him.
Okay, you know what? All right.
I'm not trying to steal your thunder. I'm being 100% honest with you, sir.
All right, I'll say this. Okay.
Anytime he looks down Acosta and you see his arm going like that, I'm afraid I'm getting Omaha.
What?
I mean, y'all sound like I mean, all I'm hearing is a bunch of bickering hens. That's all I'm hearing.
Okay, no. So the truth of the matter is this. All right, so let's give love to where love is supposed to go. So first off, Carvey, CJ, another member of the Anvil. Yes, he's been on the train basically since he first seen Anthony Richardson. Kirby Hayes, a fan of the show. Man, that guy updated his profile picture on Facebook like 3 months ago because he was for sure. He's been baiting and bantering with everyone about every other quarterback and why Anthony was the guy. But if you recall, which you don't because you're the old guy, when I brought this guy up, I said, now this is a scary dude. And I said, this guy can probably do things that no other quarterback could do. And I also said this guy's inexperienced. And unfortunately, this was how I prefaced this. Unfortunately, where we pick, I think we would be really reaching to get him. Because at the time, right, this is pre-combine now. At the time, you're only looking at tape, and we know how important tape is to Chris Ballard. But then you go see the actual athleticism at the combine, and then everybody's mind changes. Now, immediately he went from, late first, maybe second, to, oh my goodness, this dude could be number one. And then all of the craziness started. So with that, I'll simply state, like I called it last time, I said, hey, I think this is who we're going to draft. And I think my reaction showed that. we might have Sammy and the team play my reaction at some point during this. But
the Indianapolis Colts select Anthony Richardson. And you up!
First off, who is that? That dude gets to Omaha. But yes, I think my reaction showed just how excited I was at 4 to take Anthony Richardson, knowing CJ Stroud was gone. Okay. So that was the key to all of this. CJ Stroud, like me and Acosta talked before, that was my guy from day one. I felt like that's who we needed. But knowing that he was gone, I was like, there's no way. And of course, Bryce Young is gone. He went first. There's no way I think the Colts brass would wake up the following morning saying, wow, we could have drafted Anthony Richardson with all this potential. And we took Will Levis, which we've probably seen just about all he can do. I think that would have been a tough sell. That would have been a tough pill to swallow.
Very tough. Very tough. And believe it or not, I've talked to a few Colts fans that said they wouldn't be Colts fans if we did draft Will Levis.
Yeah.
Wow,
and I said, well, if that's all it takes for you to jump ship, you ain't a damn fan anyways.
Bye.
Right?
Bye. Right. But I mean, this is a game changer, man. 6'4", and I'm sorry I misspoke on my vlog. I had a few drinks, but I'm talking to a Cowboys fan towards the end.
Only a few,
just a few. But 6'4", the real 40 time, 4'4", 40, right? 244 pounds, can throw a ball on a rope 60 plus yards, can run away from defenders, cornerbacks, you name it. Incredible, man. And everyone, Shane Steichen, Chris Ballard, Jim Irsay, the players, people just don't even, I don't think it's really set in like what we potentially have with the offense that we have. People have always talked about, well, our wide receiver core isn't that strong. Maybe not. But now we have an electric player who can extend plays, create plays, you name it. JT, Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, so now doesn't sound so benign, right? So
my thing is this: if you play fantasy football, you better pick up Pittman because that kid has an arm on him, and Steichen is going to stretch that field out with that arm.
I'm gonna tell. All right, look, we're gonna slow down.
I think Alec Pierce is going to take him over Pittman.
Wait a minute, boys. Wait a minute. Can we not do this to jinx our squad? Listen, remember last year when Frank Wright was like, hey, if you play fantasy football, you better get Naheem Hines.
I remember
that like 4
my
catches
dumbass
at that
picked him
time.
up. You got me 2 points all damn season. Thanks, Frank.
Until he left and then started returning kicks and punts and you name it. So yes, let's just have a mental picture of what it looks like.
We'll
but I'm
save
telling
that
you,
for another show.
I'm telling you right now, man, the RPO is
gonna be
potentially
insane.
one of the scariest, maybe ever. Right? Like I know Cam Richardson. Listen to me, Omaha man.
Good.
No, I'm
Good
kidding.
Lord.
I know Cam Newton, even though he was later in his career when they got Christian McCaffrey, but that was a scary RPO right there. But Cam wasn't Cam from like year one Cam. But I mean, a year 4 JT, who's still super fast, who's still super elusive, with now a rookie and Anthony Richardson, and that's your RPO action. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. And one thing else I want to say about Anthony Richardson before we move to the other guys, just think about this really quick. Everybody on draft day looks a certain way, and please don't take this in the wrong manner. Did you see how professional Anthony Richardson looked? He wasn't trying to
Absolutely.
be jazzed out. Now he had his chain on, all right? His chain said a thing or two about him. But other than that, dude, he had on a straight put together suit. You know, he was about business. He brought his entire family. Like he's showing already, like I'm only 20 years old, soon to be 21, but I'm mature beyond my years. And this is something playing quarterback in the NFL that I really want to do and I'm focused on and I'm ready to work. And I just think that sometimes that starts. I know it's your day. I know you're supposed to be jazzed out and all that, but sometimes some of those things are a bit much. I like how he doesn't want to draw attention to himself that way. Draw attention to what I'm going to do on this field, bro. I love it. I love it.
Not to mention the kid is stupid smart.
Facts. Oh yeah, I seen some of those breakdowns, like what he had to go through with the coaching staffs and being able to recreate what they said and that whole thing. Like, yeah, man. So
Did you see that video of him breaking down the West Coast offense? Like they showed him one time, and they
With
said
Mariucci?
pretty much, yeah, and then pretty much redo it on the board, and he did it like verbatim.
yeah, that was one of the things that I was talking about. Like, dude, that was incredible. And I mean, I think on his RAS score, not his RAS score. I'm sorry. I think on his S2, he scored a 79. And you know, I think I know Bryce had the highest with like a 98. And then Will Levis had like a 93. But they both had more playing time, right? So we got 13 games. You know, still raw, but the ability to do exactly what you said. You know, repeat stuff that was said, be able to kind of call through audibles and what would you do here? What's the look? I don't know, man. I'm super excited. Let's just pray for good health for the boys in blue. And I think we got one. I think we got one.
I tell you, one part of his interviews after the draft that I truly, truly enjoyed what he said is there's no more Cam Richardson. There's no more this. There's no more that. There's just Anthony Richardson. Yeah. It's time for me to make my legacy. Yep. And I can really, really appreciate that.
Yep. Yeah, that's true, man. I think he said there's no more Cam Jackson. That was, you know, he was always
Cam Jackson.
Yeah. I got you. But nah, man, it's good to have those people that you looked up to. It's good to like, you know, always kind of like hold them true as far as those are my guys that I look at as maybe, you know, the players I want to emulate. But now it's my turn and I'm here to prove it and I'm ready to show it. And bro, I am stoked at one for that. But that was our only pick of day one, right? So we did nothing else crazy, but we seen crazy, right? And this is a Colts show, not a Texans show. But I'm telling you right now, when they first mentioned there was a trade at 3 before they said the Texans were the team, instant shambles. Like I was about to just break down because I knew of the teams, more than likely I was going to hear, or I thought I was going to hear, the Tennessee Titans have, right? But after doing some rumor reporting and some research, don't know if it's 100% true, but all things point to this. Their guy was CJ Stroud. I actually met a guy in the crowd that was a Titans fan. So like, yeah, we're coming up for 3 to get CJ. But after CJ went at 2, I think all of that traction went away. And they were just comfortable staying where they were at 11, I think. So thank you for not wrecking the show, right? And of course, the hate is already out there. You gotta love these battle groups. The Sick Podcast Animal Show is part of the AFC South battle group, and they already calling Anthony a bust and trying to compare him to Trevor Lawrence and how that was when he came out and blah blah blah. CJ Stroud to be better because of this. You know what? None of these kids, with the exception of Lawrence, have played yet. So let's just see him play. I know it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to have your hater boots on because the most athletic dude that ever played quarterback is now on our team ever. His RAS score was a perfect 10. Perfect 10. Perfect 10. Right. So that's neither here or there.
The one thing I'm gonna add about him too is he is definitely out of the quarterback class. I'm not gonna say the whole draft, but definitely the quarterback class. He's the most coachable player there.
As they say, he is a Colts guy. He's got to
He
be
is.
your guy. And Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen and Jim Irsay and now Jim Bob Cooter and everybody else, Morocco Brown, you name it, all are smiling ear to ear. Morocco Brown was the first to tell Chris Ballard about him like way back in August. And he was like, dude, I'm down here watching a show you won't believe, when he was on nobody's radar. And here we are now, 8 months later or so, he's in Indianapolis Colts. Crazy ride for that kid. So
Now we've heard
congratulations.
we've heard all the interviews, and Chris and Shane and Jim always said, "Oh no, we don't have anybody targeted." With what you just said about Marco calling him, do you think they maybe lied to us a little bit
Well, Chris
and
Ballard said everybody lies. Hell yeah.
had a little bit of target on him?
I feel like they had a huge target on him, right? Like, and I think the target for them, and I think Chris Ballard even made this clear on Pat McAfee's on the draft day. He actually said when they came in, they gave him like 5-6 minutes on actual draft day after selection. He's like, yeah, we've known for like a month, maybe a month and a half. So with that, I mean, he's admitting to there was a slight target. And whenever you want to put it on him, yeah, it was.
And then Irsay also said, like, even if we had the number 1 overall pick, we still would have chose Anthony.
So then there it is, right? Yeah. And I believe you just have to take that for what it is. And we're a team that has known to be unconventional in the past. I mean, we can go back to 99 draft when we were at number 4 again, and everybody in the entire NFL community thought we were going to select Ricky Williams. And we didn't. We took Edgerrin James. And I remember Mel Kiper like blowing the top. He was like, what? I mean, it was almost the only other one was when we selected, I forgot what tackle it was or something, and we were supposed to select someone else. And then old boy is famous for saying, who the hell is Mel Kiper anyway? You remember that? That was like early 90s. I can't remember who we took. Maybe we were supposed to take somebody, and then we maybe got Steve Entman or something instead. I don't fucking know. And he was like, who the hell is Mel Kiper anyway? But Mel Kiper lost his shit on the Colts that day when we didn't take, Ricky Williams, and lo and behold, Edgerrin James is only a fucking Hall of Famer. So,
yeah,
it is what it is. But that's okay. Let's move on to round 2. Yes, we spend a lot of time on round 1 because that is the pick. But round 2 and beyond was no slouch. All right. Now we're talking about RAS score. And I think the RAS score, relative athletic score, really became something I started to follow probably 3 or 4 years ago, because the Colts were always kind of like stacking out in the top 5 when it came to that. And basically it's just saying like, these are the athletes of the athletes. They might not be the overall best players based on production, but the ability and what they have and what they are being able to do in drills and show with their size and their attributes make them a very, very incredible athlete. And we got to go with Julius Brents. And already what we see is the change in philosophy. It's very apparent that Gus Bradley had a lot of input into what the Colts wanted to do when it came to the defensive side of the ball, because we know in his 4-3 base, but cover 3, he likes press corners, bigger, stronger guys, usually 6'1" or taller, maybe 200 pounds. And he got one. I got a hometown kid at that, from Warren Central High School. Julius Brents from Kansas State started his career at Iowa, was nicked up a lot there, but this dude can play. And I think the one thing that they like to him, usually bigger corners have a little issue with transitioning, coming out of those breaks, being able to cover that ground. But this kid shows he can do that. Pretty sure tackler. And like all these kids, they're rookies. There's things that they can improve. But yeah, taking this big corner really started to set this draft into a motion that we would continue to get excited about. So what you guys think about bringing a hometown kid home, Julius Brents?
Go ahead, Country.
I mean, who could be not more excited than a hometown kid? You know what I mean? Getting to play for your Indianapolis Colts. I seen the video of him getting drafted when he got that phone call. His family was all emotional. But going to the player side, I mean, I've already hearing word, that he's resembling a lot of Bob Sanders, the aggressiveness that he brought, the football IQ that he brings. And just his pure size, obviously alone, is just nothing to shake a stick at. And so, I mean, Gus Bradley's defense, does he fit in? Absolutely. I mean, like you said, Clyde, I mean, that's what he looks for in that, in that category. So he's going to fit in well. I mean, the whole defensive backfield this year is going to be competition after competition after competition, probably week in, week out of who's going to start and who's not.
Which is something that, like when we have the opportunity to talk to Chris in the future, I'm going to ask him. And it's wild because, of course, with every pick, you want it to count and you want it to matter. But you also understand with every pick, every player won't make the roster. And so I know you need to build competition. I know that you want practices to be completely out of their mind each and every day. But how do you make these decisions on who's going to stay, who's going to play? Like sometimes this sounds kind of funny. I play a lot of Madden, or at least I used to. Sometimes you need those dudes on the squad that are like 50s and 60s where you're like, look, they only come in and play special teams. Like, I don't need you to be anywhere. But then you might end up hurting yourself in the event that somebody goes down and you don't have a good replacement. But it's going to be tough, bro. Like you said, Condor, it's going to be tough. Like, I'm sure everybody's going to work to become a sure starter each and every week. But, bro, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. And maybe that's a good thing. That's going to be a good thing. But how do you feel about this corner there, Pat?
I absolutely love this pick. I love that he's a hometown boy. But reading over his scouting reports, something crossed my eyes.
What's that?
I want to read it to you. It says, very good zone defender. Shows vision and understanding of threats in the area.
Yep.
And when you started this segment, you mentioned Gus Bradley having a lot of input in what he's wanting to do. And those, to me, tie hand in hand.
I agree. And I think that, like, again, we run a 4-3 cover 3 zone primarily, right? So you need people to fit your scheme. But I think what you have to be able to do, which we didn't do so well, is be able to make plays in that 4-3. And we had bigger corners last year face on. And he struggled mightily. Oh, man. And that was a Gus Bradley guy. He brought him, over with him when he came from Vegas. And yeah, it didn't work. And then we had Stephon Gilmore, another big corner who made great plays, and he played big in big moments, but he had tough days. Justin Jefferson in the Viking games, that was a tough day. You know what I mean? Yeah. A couple other days, you can name Terry McLaurin in the Washington game. That was a tough day. You know what I mean? But he had a good day.
Final catch was right over him.
Exactly. And so again, we're replacing bigger corners. I think Stephon Gilmore was 6'2"-ish, Brandon Faison 6'2"-ish. So now we're getting our own versions, younger versions of that. So absolutely. But quick trivia before we move on from Julius Brents. Did you know he's now another player from my alma mater, Warren Central High School, to be selected by the Colts? Another one was Jeff George, number 1 overall pick in 1990, maybe. He went to Warren Central. So just a little, I don't know what your high schools do in Indiana, but my high schools produce. So I don't know. A little plug to Warren Central, and don't know what schools you went to, but don't know if you ever had Colts players from your high schools.
I played for a 1A school, bro.
Oh yeah, so you definitely get up.
I'm from the backwoods. I was the best when I played.
Oh, there he goes. He was the best of the best. I love it. All right, here we go. Now we're about to really get fancy, Pat. I'm gonna lead with you. Round 3, number 79. And in a lot of ways, this might be my second. I'm gonna say it's definitely my third favorite pick in this draft. Anthony Richardson is first, right? Mm-hmm. Josh Downs is a close 3, almost second. But taking Josh Downs from North Carolina, who had a monstrosity of a season last year, just a huge, huge season. This guy is 5'8". Maybe the stats tell him 5'9", and he's about 170 pounds. But he's the guy that you need to get lost in defenses and zones under the coverage, because what the Colts have done over the past 2 or 3 drafts are build the towers up. You know, the Jelani Woods at 6'7", Michael Pittman 6'4". If Michael Strawn sees the field, 6'5", Alec Pierce 6'3", you know, Mo Alley 6'6", and it goes on. We just have these giant trees everywhere, and you need guys other than your running back to get lost in the shuffle, who can create, find the open spaces and zones, can run. This dude fits the bill, and he had an incredible season last year at UNC. And the biggest thing is you have to have your staff and your coaches be 100% on board with those picks. And Reggie Wayne called this guy doing the workout, doing the combine, his favorite receiver of them all. And some great receivers came out this year. And again, we talked about Gus Bradley maybe getting to raise his hand. Hey, I like this guy. Reggie Wayne definitely was like, hey, I like this guy. And a lot of people, not to get carried away, Marvin Harrison, a little bit bigger in size and in height, but he gives you that Marvin Harrison-esque feel, how he's just able to wiggle around. T.Y. Hilton, another perfect, basically around the same size. T.Y. Hilton was 5'9" too, right? So just able to find little open spaces and to run away from people. Good luck with a guy like Anthony Richardson running for, scrambling around, making things happen, finds this guy on a shallow crosser or something. Good night. You know what I'm saying? So, Pat, how do you feel about Josh Downs?
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. And if you go back and you watch his highlight tapes, pay attention to his separation. Because, yes, he is small, but my God, the guy is quick and he can turn on a dime. He can create that separation. So to me, having that natural ability, or it was coached, I don't know. I don't know the kid personally, but the way he can separate, size doesn't matter to him. You just need that window for that QB. He played a lot of slot at North Carolina, so I can see him doing a lot here, especially with Pittman and Pierce. Come on.
And again, no knock to Paris Campbell, because Paris Campbell, when he was healthy, showed flashes. But Paris Campbell, most people forget, he was a little bit bigger than what people may have seen. He was like 6 foot, right? This is a 5'8".
Thought he was like 6'1" something.
Yeah. So Paris Campbell was actually much bigger trying to fit into the slot. Now you have like this guy that really gets lost. You know, you imagine breaking a huddle and seeing all these towers, and then, oh my God, I'm the unlucky SOB that's playing nickelback or whatever. I'm like, wait, where's my dude?
Oh,
shit, there he is.
And see, to me, a TY comparison is really good for this one.
Absolutely.
For Downs, because TY wasn't the biggest, TY wasn't the fastest, but TY was damn good at getting separation. TY was damn good at giving Andrew Luck that window he needed. Yep, there it is. And I see a lot of resemblance and Downs here. You know, so
takes on Downs country.
My take on Downs is absolutely. I love the pick. I mean, when I've seen him, like Pat was saying about the separation, the kid is one of the best route runners in this draft, if not the best route runner in this draft. I mean, his footwork could use a little bit of assistance, but that'll come in time. I mean, that'll be coached. But I mean,
that's that shit out of him.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that is the only thing I've seen. But the names that came to mind was obviously Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
T.Y. Hilton being the biggest. Even Danny Amendola, as much as I hate to say it, came to mind. Wes Welker came to mind. Yeah. It's just his speed, his separation, his route running. I mean, just that and a receiver alone, that's all you need.
Facts.
You know, some decent footwork. He's going to eat people alive. And like you said, with Anthony Richardson's arm, man.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing. Like when you're a slot guy, you want to be able to get on people's shoe tops. If you get on their shoe tops and then you're able to turn them, I mean, the world is yours at that point. And I think Reggie Wayne really enjoyed it, because even though Reggie was never one of the fastest, Reggie Wayne was always one of the best route runners ever. And I think he fell in love with seeing how this guy comes out his breaks. He's able to get, you know, like you take like a stem route, the way he gets to the stem, puts the foot in the ground, sends the guy that's guarding him one way, he's going the other way. Like it's over at that point. And as long as the ball's on time, it's a completion, because the guy has amazing hands. So yeah, man. That was
Now-
great at 79.
Now, on top of that, you know Reggie vouched for you. So how you going to let Reggie Wayne down on the field and at practice and during game?
Right. Yeah,
You know
he's
what I'm
gonna
saying?
work his tail off. He's gonna work
Yeah,
his tail
absolutely.
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
Another
So-
little fun fact too is most positions in football, and each coach will tell you this: if you get them backpedaling and get them flat-footed, it's over.
Yeah,
That goes for line, that goes for receivers and defenders, that goes for a lot of positions. You get them on their flat parts of their feet, it's over.
yeah. And that's a great segue because going to round 4, we go to the big uglies.
Yeah.
And we got the most
Hey, now.
athletic of the big uglies in Blake Freeland, offensive tackle for BYU. And I'll be honest. I was not tracking him initially. You know, like my mind at this point, if we're going to take a tackle, I thought it would have been at number 2 in the 40s, right? And I was looking at DeJuan Jones and a few others. So at that point, I had already kind of slipped my mind to offensive tackle. So when we took him, it took me a minute. I knew the name just from watching combine stuff, but I had to go watch the tape. A big physical, a giant of a man, 6'8", dude, long arms, 300 pounds. Basically was like between the top 1 or 3 in all of the ranking and all the drills. I think the only weakness may have been, I think he was up there on his bench too. I'm thinking of Witt. Witt was kind of low on his, we'll get to him. He was our last pick. But moral of the story is, I think this guy can come in and start right away. Now, a lot of people are talking about, well, do we kick him to left? Because he played both, right? He ended as a left tackle, but he played a lot of right tackle. In my opinion, I'm like, no, what you do is you kick Braden in the inside, let him go back to his roots from Auburn and play right guard, put this kid at right tackle. Now you got Kelly at the center, Nelson at the left, and you keep Rayman out there at left tackle because he showed he can do it. But I think this is a day 1 starter, like hands down. This dude's a monster, bro. Like
Absolutely.
He gets on people. So I'll let you guys talk about it since y'all played in the trenches. This is a big bastard.
Good country.
I mean, dude, he's a specimen of a man. I think NFL Network had him going late in the first, early in the second. So we got a steal. You know, that's one of the biggest steals of this draft was getting Blake. But dude, I was watching some of his highlights and some of the breakdowns. But as much as his football playing is, the kid played basketball. He played quarterback. And between all that, the biggest thing I noticed was his football IQ. He's probably the smartest lineman in this draft. He knows, especially playing that left tackle position, the blind side, he knew what to do automatically. He knew what blocks to pick up. Like, he knew what to call in the field. The man's a born leader. He's everything that we need. Even if he does start at left tackle, he does outshine Rahman. I'm fine with that, though. You know what I mean? But, Rahman did really great for us. But Blake, man, he's just a specimen of a human being. Really impressed me. But his football IQ is what really impressed me the most. He's up. I can see him having Jeff Saturday type IQ when he gets, in the league for a few years.
Shit, he's sitting next to a savant and Quentin Nelson, right? So,
Absolutely.
he went to BYU, another one of those high profile, like, academic schools. We already know Big Q went to Notre Dame, so he's a Golden Dome. So, yeah, like, that's very important at the line because it's more than just, hey, that's your guy. I think that's how you guys learn how to play line when you're a kid. Hey, that's your guy. But by the time you're in middle school, transition to high school, like, you're learning, like, how to, like, do different type of blocks. It's time to learn how to pull. What do you do here? What do you do there? What's your kick step? Like, like he's going to be a game changer, and he's strong and he stymies people. So that's important. So Pat, you played D line. What does that look like?
Well,
his footwork's amazing too.
Yeah. After we drafted him, I went back and read his scouting report. And usually in the negatives on scouting reports, there's 3, 4, 5, 6 lines, sometimes more. This kid has 1 negative line in his scouting report.
What does it say?
It says plays with marginal leverage and pad level.
Because he's 6'8", but I get that.
Because he's 6'8". Geez, what do you want? He could get on his knees and have his pads at pad level for you.
Fact.
That's the only way that negative comment comes out of that scouting report.
Yeah.
And if that is the only negative of this kid, come on. That is a home run.
Now, Mel Kiper liked this guy. He was like what you said.
Who the
Country,
hell
like,
is
the
Mel
Colts.
Kiper?
But I'm saying he was like, the Colts get an absolute steal here. And again, like, there's some more absolute highly prolific names out there because of the college they played in, right? If you went to Georgia, if you went to Old State, you're always going to get way more accolades in the area of, being drafted than the kid from BYU. But what I'm saying is the kid from BYU, don't sleep on him, right? So, all right. Now here's my second. Moving around for number 110. This is actually my second favorite pick. And I heard him say his name. So Adetomiwa.
I want to hear you say it.
Adetomiwa. Adebawore. There you go. Adetomiwa Adebawore. I'm pretty close. But he says he will go by Tommy. But he was very adamant on, hey, I want to be known by my entire Nigerian name, Adetomiwa. So we're gonna do that. But listen. The way these guys scout is incredible. This is the only kid, right? The only kid that weighed in the 280 range to ever run sub 4.5 in the draft. 4.49, 282 pounds, strong as an ox, 27 reps. Dude is a monster, and he played all across the line in Northwestern, but he's probably going to be more of a 3 technique, and that's amazing because now D-Book actually has somebody to tag out with, like a true 3 technique to tag out with. Now, D-Buck is 6'8" and some change. This guy's only 6'1". So adjustments, right? Let's go to whoever center we're dealing with that week. For snap after snap after snap, you're dealing with D-Buck is 280. I'm sorry, 260, 6'6", 6'8", whatever he is. Then you get a kid that comes in that's faster, just as strong, can move a little bit differently. Dude, what we're doing, we want a full 9-man rotation on the D-line. Bringing a kid in like this, game changer. He's going to be all over the field. And now that pressure on the ends for Adeo and Quiddy, more 1-on-1s, more chances to win because you got to worry about dudes like this. Plus, we got Grove. Listen.
And we re-signed Twyquan.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, man, I'm telling you, like, it's picks like this that get kind of like washed over. If this kid is as advertised as we've seen in the Big Ten, and he played against some great competition in the Big Ten, we got a player. This is my second favorite pick of the draft. Now, I go to you. I know you get super excited, Country, for your defensive lineman and where you used to play. Watching some film of him, just knowing a little bit about him, how do you feel about Adetomiwa?
Dude, defensive end, was my position in high school, heading into the collegiate level too. I mean, he screams the Jared Allen. He screams the Dwight Freeney's. His hand motions, how aggressive his hand motions are, his low posture exploding off that line is insane. Being 6'1", I mean, I'm honestly thinking, Clyde, I have to disagree with you. He's probably going to be a starting defensive end.
Okay.
He's too explosive. He's too explosive of a player. He's, with D-Buck and Grove, them two giants in the middle. I mean, it's going to be hard to rotate him out, in the middle, I think. But in this case, I'm just excited of him being a defensive end to replace you, Nick. So he's just so explosive, man. His stance is phenomenal. He gets low. I mean, it's almost like a 20-degree angle, man. Like, I watched him get low to get past the line. That swoop move that he does, the swim move that he does, just the rake move that he does. Dude, I was in love with this kid. I mean, it actually put a smile on my face when I watched this kid. He's just so phenomenal, so technical, so aggressive. I was just like, man, you're taking me back, bro. You're taking me back.
And before I pass it to Pat, I think one thing that was going as an intangible trait is a lot of pressures, a lot of hurries. A lot of guys have that. But if you notice, if you watch this film, he already has the maniac mentality. He's going for the football every single time. When he's going to sack a quarterback, yeah, he's not going just to like tackle a quarterback and bring him down. Big swipes, punching at the ball, ripping at the ball. He's creating turnovers while he's getting his sacks, and that's something that the Colts lacked last year, as we know. But Pat, how you feel about this guy?
3 syllables. Robert Mathis 2.0. And everything Country said about his technique, his rakes, his swims, that first step. Oh my God. But yeah, that's what I see. I see a Robert Mathis 2.0. And I absolutely love it. Now, I'm going to have to go back to college for another 6 years just so I can learn how to say his damn name properly.
I think I missed it last time.
But I'm just gonna call him Addy. Can I just call him Addy?
Probably not.
You think he'll black my eye?
He might.
Probably.
He might sack fumble your ass.
I'll definitely work on that name for sure.
I think it's Adetomiwa. Adetomiwa. Like way at the end.
Adetomiwa.
But no, I'm really excited to see this kid.
Absolutely.
Really excited. Could he get a starting position? Yeah, he's that damn good. Will he? I don't know. We'll have to see what training camp and everything leads out, because Dio really came on to his own last year. Dio was doing great. I can see him continually building on that success that he had last year. So it's going to be tough. If he does get that starting position, it's going to be real tough. Now, I'm not saying it ain't going to happen. I'm just saying it's going to be tough.
Hey, watch out for our Leo position too.
See, that's another position for that.
There you go.
But I think I
didn't even think about that one.
But I think we got a place at the Leo. All right, now, fellas, we're going to have to rapid fire through these, right? The Colts had a bunch of picks because day 2, if you tuned in, holy hell, all we did was trade back and get another pick. Trade back and get another pick.
Ballard being Ballard.
Yeah.
Ballard playing that chess game, boy.
Chris Ballard
he started the draft with 2 picks and ended with 12.
Yeah, he definitely said there was a lot of talent to be found in rounds 4 and 5 on day 2. And he did not tell a lie there. Survey says he was accurate. So let's run through these. So now we go round 5, 138, Darius Rush. That's that other prototypical corner for the Gus Bradley system, 6'2", 198. A key thing to look at here. He's a bit faster than Brents is at 4.36 in the 40, and he has that SEC pedigree coming out of South Carolina. Big, physical, likes to hit. Like, these are the type of cornerbacks that Gus Bradley coveted, right? And he needed. And this is what he had if you go back to his days at Legion of Boom in Seattle. Richard Sherman's much taller, 6'4". When he had Brandon Browner out on the other side, 6'4". Mm-hmm. But these dudes love to be physical, long arms, that type of thing. So that's something to keep an eye on, to see the actual growth of Darius Rush and Julius Brents, to go along with who we already have, the nickel guy, of course, Kenny Moe, who spoke today at the podium. So that was a very interesting listen if you haven't. And then, of course, can't overlook Isaiah Rodgers. Isaiah Rodgers has been a dog for us for 3 years.
Yep.
And and so I think
Isaiah Rodgers Sr.
Yeah, and I know, Thomas, wherever you are, you were stoked because he loves his cornerbacks, and we finally got some. So there's one there. Now here's one, and I'm gonna pass to y'all. We're gonna talk about really quick. Round 5, Daniel Scott. I didn't see a need for safety based on what we already had, in that room, right? With the guys such as Nick Cross from last year, Rodney Thomas, Julian Blackman. But we went out and got another guy who I think initially makes their debut on special teams. But this kid is a hitter. This kid covers ground. This kid makes plays. And lo and behold, he reminds me of Julian Blackman. And we seen what Julian Blackman did pre-injuries. So Daniel Scott, did you guys watch any film on him?
I did not. I did not make it that deep. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay.
I got a scouting report and things like that, but I have not been able to watch film on him.
No worries. You just get that's fine. Do your damn homework.
Well, Omaha me for everybody else after that because I ran out of time.
But go ahead. Did you got something to say about Daniel?
I was just saying he's gonna be definitely a good depth piece if he doesn't outcompete, the secondary room. But to me, baby Bob Sanders. When I say baby Bob Sanders, not the complete package, but I've seen, traits. So,
Yes.
it's good for us. Good for
We
us.
have hitters. The Gus Bradley want people that will absolutely make you pay if you catch the football. They want to make it difficult for you to catch it first. And if you do catch it, I'm gonna hurt you. Not, not in that sense, but I'm gonna knock you down. Right. You're gonna know that I was here. And he's getting those players all over the field. He wants playmakers. But here's a compelling pick. Oh man. Will Mallory, tight end, round 5,
Yes.
162. Oh my goodness. By far the fastest tight end in open field in the draft. This dude, all he did was make plays. You give him a 5-yard screen, you give him a 3-yard drag, and he's running away from dudes. Another big kid, 6'5" or so. And he just shows range. Like he doesn't, it's weird. He's one of those kids, like when he's running, he's like, is that fast? Like he's like, is that fast or are people just slow today? But no, like he's running away from actual cornerbacks and safeties and really, really good players. And so that's going to be interesting to throw that into the mix.
That's going to be Kyler's competition. Sorry, Pat, but it is.
Unfortunately, somebody's not going to make it, big dog. Between Jelani Woods, the kid that didn't play last year, what was his name? The kid that got hurt. Ogletree. Your guy, Kylan Granson, which you love.
Absolutely.
Now this kid in Mo Alley. I mean,
if you ask me, it's Mo Alley's on the block.
But even still, I don't think we'll carry 4 tight ends. We'll carry 3.
We'll definitely not carry 4.
No, what's that other one? Brown.
The guy we just get Noah Brown.
Signed. Yeah, I think he's a camp body.
Shout out to the camp body. That's another T-shirt. That's another T-shirt.
Thomas is gonna be screaming at you, bro. Farrell Brown, that's his boy.
Farrell Brown, yeah, big.
I know.
Camp body.
Now I'll give you some little bit of information. His grandpa is the winningest coach at IU football program ever.
Who, Will Mallory?
Yeah.
Well, look at that.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, he definitely has
and his dad, I forgot his dad's got some kind of accolade there too. So there's a lot of
Mallory history in Indiana.
Yeah, in Indiana, yeah. So that should get all Indiana fans excited right there. One thing, let me read you this. Oh shit. I'm sorry. Go ahead. This was
he lost it. Move on.
I want to go back to Daniel Scott real quick because I found a scouting report.
Oh my God.
But you guys are going to like this. It says versatile player who has shown ability to align from multiple spots. Plays best when coming down into the box.
Yeah.
All right. So he's not just a safety. Bradley can put this kid anywhere he wants.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree. No complaints here. And that's why I said we got hitters now. We got dudes that are going to smack you in the face and make plays. Oh man, I love athleticism. That's why that RAS score is super important. But this guy, man, see, God, this dude is like my close 3. He ties with Josh Downs because the next kid, and I know him well, meaning not personally, but I know him well because I'm a Michigan fan. I watch Michigan football religiously. Evan Hull is an absolute maniac at running back.
2.0.
Okay, well, I'm gonna disagree slightly. Yes, out the backfield, he catches. Like you give him a screen pass or a swing pass, and you're probably in trouble. Great hands out the backfield. So for that, Naheem, absolutely. But in a lot of ways, without having the top end speed, this is Jonathan Taylor 2.0. He's an in between the tackle guy, small dude, right? I think Jonathan Taylor's 5'11". This kid might 5'10". I think this kid walks around in the 5'8", 5'9" range. But that's how he plays.
5'10", 209.
Oh, is he 5'10"? Okay, boom, there
that's
you go.
What
right?
The scouting report says.
Yeah, and in between the tackle guys, bruh, the quick wiggle, boom, boom. He might not have the top end 4.3 speed that Jonathan Taylor has. He's probably in the 4.4 range, maybe a little bit higher. But he's going to absolutely be the guy that spells Jonathan Taylor, and you don't lose a lot. No knock on Zach Moss. We seen when he got the opportunity, he played pretty hard. But he's one of those big
Jackson
backs. Yeah, Jackson, but Jackson isn't this. Jackson isn't this at all.
Zach Moss is Zach Moss is simply a power back, and that's it.
Yeah.
He's stout, he's big. He's short, stocky. He's just a power back. You put him in third and goal, third and short, those types of situations.
Think about this, man.
Moss will definitely get you that 2-3 yards that you got to punch through.
Yeah.
So he led all backs last year with 55 catches. And get this, he averaged 9.9. So basically a first down per catch. Like,
crap.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like,
wow.
And now you got a young quarterback
and this
who needs these type of players, right?
This was a 5th or 6th round pick.
5th pick, 176. Chris Ballard said rounds 4 through 5, that's where the money is. Dude, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We picked 6 players from 4 through the end of 5.
I mean, there's a reason why we got an A+ grade, man.
He was 9 line. All right, we got to burn through these last 3. Here, if it turns out, here is your Leo. And oh, by the way, his name is Titus Leo. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. This dude is a phenomenal athlete. Like, he's one of those other, like, lost. He went to Wagner, right? So most people are like, well, what is Wagner College? Doesn't matter. All over the Wagner tape is Titus Leo. He can play linebacker. He played defensive line. He rushes. He can drop back in coverage. The dude is just crazy. He's just a football player. Coach, where do you need me? Let me go play. This is a scary dude, man. This is a scary dude, right? Like, I mean, let's not get carried away. But when we selected Darius Leonard back when he was going by Darius in round 2, everybody's like, who the hell is, what the F? This is the same type. Without Darius being an edge rusher, this is the same type of you can do it all anytime you want to do it player out there. And we got him. And that right there is something that there's got to be development. There's got to be patience. But once he touches the field, think EJ Speed. Look where EJ Speed is now versus when we first drafted EJ Speed. A lot of times you're like, is this guy going to make the team? Like, he shows flashes and then it's like, But now EJ Speed had to be brought back. Titus Leo.
EJ Speed would be a starter on some teams.
That's what I'm saying. But it took time.
Mm-hmm.
It took development. And
it did.
I think this is the future Leo right here. And I mean, no pun intended. Titus Leo, the Leo. Maybe he is a Leo in real life too. I don't know.
This is true. This is true.
And then again,
I still have to go. I have to go see his tape. But one of the comments in his scouting report says plays with his hair on fire even when the game is long decided.
That's what I mean.
That's my kind of dog on the field right there.
Yeah.
I don't care if we're winning by 50, and I don't care if we're losing by 50. We're playing hard every single play.
And I'm telling you, those are the guys that Chris Ballard and his team is looking for. And hence, you can find them at a school like Wagner and be like, who are they? Right? You know, wherever, Darius Leonard came from the MEAC in South Carolina State, I think it was. Like, who are they? Right? But I'm telling you, these type of players are the players that make the team. In 2 or 3 years from now, they become household names. Might be a Leo jersey behind you.
Shaquille became a household name.
Absolutely.
Damn near day one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, it just goes back to those old coaching sayings, man. I got kids sitting on the bench that's way hungrier than you that want to play. That's this guy.
Yep, absolutely. So Gus Bradley strikes again in round 7 with another 6'2" cornerback around the 200-pound range. Jalen Jones, another battle-tested corner coming out of Texas A&M, which is now in the SEC as of like 3 or 4 years ago. Again, bro, like you can tell. And this is, remember when we talked about this, I said, it seems as if with Shane Steichen, he would definitely have Chris Ballard's ear when it comes to the draft, and it won't just be on all of the, the positional coaches and area scouts. But you can tell that all of the coaches came into the room and was like, almost like a wish list for Christmas. Hey, Chris, I need this. Hey, Chris, I want 2 of these. Okay. Hey, Chris, don't forget about me. Like, Gus Bradley had a lot of voice, in my opinion, in the room. Hey, dude, let's go watch some 2012, 2013 tape of my Seattle defense. Look what I got out there. I got big, rangy dudes. Can we get those? And they listened. This was a deep cornerback draft. This was a deep tight end draft. This was a deep wide receiver draft. And we had our hands in all those pockets. So that's another one.
I'm sorry. I just thought of that Dave Chappelle skit where he He's got the cocaine all over his face. He's just like, "You got any more of them?" I'm just thinking that's good. You got any more? You got any more of them stridey cornerbacks?
Yeah, I know. Like how many like let's be for real, man. How many 6'2" cornerbacks that are 200 pounds with range and speed and athleticism are you going to find in a single draft? We got them all, bro. Like we got them all. You know what I mean? It's crazy. So
one of his positives on his scouting report says physical defender who uses his length and size to his advantage.
facts.
How many times have we seen these DBs play smaller than what they actually are?
Yeah.
So when I read stuff like that, I'm like, okay, this kid knows who he is. He knows how to take advantage of everything God's given him.
Yep. His leverage, his strength at the line. And the key thing with this, he's the hitter of hitters. Now I said we got a lot of hitters. He is the hitter of it. Watch his tape. He's the headhunter.
Dude, he's like Troy Polamalu headhunting type
he's
stuff.
hitting, bro. Like when you catch the ball on him,
he's down for blood.
Yeah, bro.
All right,
Dude's a shark.
Then we're gonna have to name our defensive backfield the Indiana Headhunters.
No, we're not doing that.
Yes, we are. That is awesome.
And then,
that is awesome. Omaha for that.
Last but not least,
take your damn Omaha button away, buddy.
The most rawest, probably most athletic human being with the most incredible story you'll ever see. More so than the tape that you've seen from Northern Michigan, it's the story of the kid. Jake Witt, Northern Michigan. Another monster of a human, 6'7", 302 pounds, ran like some stupid 4.5, something like that in the 40 for that big of a man. Like, I mean, broad jump was crazy. I think his only knock, his RAS score would have been higher, but his only knock was he didn't hit his numbers when it came to the bench. He said he'd been averaging around 26, 27, and he only dropped like 22 during his workout. But super raw, right? Super raw. Only been playing tackle about like Rain Man for a few years. Okay. Yeah, he started as a tight end. He played 8-man football. He left football altogether, just only focused on basketball, the whole other college. Then moved to Michigan Tech. Said, let's play football. Listen, he's a round 7 pick. And at round 7, to me, he has more opportunity to make a team than some round 4s. And it's just because he has such an incredible ceiling and the range that, or I guess the ceiling that he has and what he could be may not show for a few years, but that's okay. Do you have patience to just keep him in camp and keep him around you? But if he does, you might be seeing his name on the starting line in a few years. I won't jump to conclusions and say it's right now, but this is a guy that the coach chose for a reason, and I'll just say that.
And I think Coach Steichen had a little bit to play in this too, because here you got this monster of a man that has tight end experience. Now you take the brain power of Steichen, and now you got an extra receiver on the field. Holy cow.
We'll be running a whole bunch of right tackle screens, right?
Hell yeah.
So you're saying there could be a Danny Pinter's type situation with this kid.
There's an actual athlete, though. Danny Pinter was just a fat boy that got lucky. This guy actually knows how to do something out there.
Get lucky out there.
And with that, boys, that is the Indianapolis Colts 2023 draft special live from the Anvil. It's going to be an exciting camp. Let's just say that. It's going to be an amazing OTA rookie camp season. I don't think I've ever been excited. I'm not sure a lot of people say this every year, but I have never been so excited for a brand new draft class like the one here. Even when we had Michael Pittman and Jonathan Taylor in the same class, that was pretty exciting. But for some reason, this class on picks that on positions that you usually don't get too, caught up in, I'm super excited. I'm super excited to see what happens with these cornerbacks. I'm super excited to see what happens with Freeland on the line. Does he automatically come in and start dominating and set his name right there? I'm super, super excited to see what our boy Tommy's going to do on the defensive line. Dude, Evan Hull, can't wait to see him get in there and be like, okay, so you really averaged a first down every time you caught the ball? Like what? like let's really break this down. Every time you caught the ball, Evan Hull, you averaged a first down. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that from your backfield, from your second string running back, or maybe third string, depending on where he falls at? Listen, a lot of things here. And I think it takes pressure off some of the vets because now the vets can lead. And they got a bunch of young bulls behind them like, look, we're just trying to get to the promised land. We know you guys have struggled, and we're here to help as much as we can. This is an exciting time. To steal one from Frank Wright, what does he say? Just go 1-0. Got to have that mentality still, right? But we got to have some consistency, your thing, and we got to have some accountability, Steichen's thing. And so I think that when all of that comes together, for all these guys that are now in year 5, year 6, and been around the organization, just know how things go, we can finally maybe see what Chris Ballard saw when he walked in the door 6-7 years ago. That's my final thoughts. I'll kick it around the room before we get out of here.
my final thoughts is keep an eye on what we're doing. We've got interviews scheduled Friday with Kevin Rogers, Director of Player Personnel, and some selected players. I don't know who the players are yet, but it is rookie mini camps. So whoever's going to be there, it's going to be rookies. Is it going to, who's it going to be? I don't know. But you guys keep an eye on our page, keep an eye on the YouTube, and that's where everything's going to be posted.
Damn it, country, get off of your mic, bro. Use it as Pat. Now you over there, boom. Sounded like the Undertaker. But anyway, last year we got to talk to Jelani Woods, and I think Rodney Thomas was there. So this is always cool every year. So yes, definitely stay tuned to that. All right, country, what you got?
My final thoughts are: you heard it here first on the Sick Podcast Anvil Show. Things are getting interesting in Indianapolis, y'all. Get ready. And I'm about to apologize for what I'm about to do, but let's fucking go. Let's go.
And with that, Sammy, take us out of here.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Anvil Show on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.